productivity. Productivity. ClickUp. Rubber baby, I don't know that one. Rubber baby, what is it? So, what are dependencies in project management? For starters, they're inevitable. Kind of like how you depend on your accountant for finances, or your boss for approvals, or your boss to tell you what to do, or your boss to pay you, or your boss to...
Keep it down, I'm on a call.
You got a boss? You get the idea. The point is, project management is very difficult without dependencies. In this video, we're going to discuss what dependencies are and how to manage them easily. First up, dependencies are any task, occurrence, or condition that either A, depends on the completion of a former task, or B, on which a successor task is dependent. Now, what does that mean? I have no idea. I didn't write this. But what I can tell you is that dependencies help project managers understand the relationship between tasks by giving them a clear idea about the order in which they should do them. For example, let's say you're the project manager and have to discuss this month's targets with your project team in a meeting. Now, this all depends on you first having the meeting, and that depends on your meeting preparation. And therein lies your dependency. Now, before we get into how to manage dependencies, we must first cover the 4 key dependency-related terms: constraint, critical path, lag, and lead. Constraints are restrictions, delays, barriers, or bottlenecks in a workflow, such as time, cost, scope, regulation, or environmental issues. Critical path is the collection or chain of essential tasks you must complete in a project to touch the finish line. Lag is the duration by which you delay a succeeding task with respect to the preceding task. For example, task B is supposed to start in 5 days when task A completes. However, task A got deleted, so task B began in 7 days. As a result, task B is considered to have a lag of 2 days. Math. Now, lead, on the other hand, is the opposite of lag. Lead time is the duration by which a successor activity can be advanced with respect to the previous task. For example, task B must start when task A completes, and that's in 8 days. However, if task A is completed early and task B begins in just 5 days, then task B is considered to have a lead of 3 days. More math. You still with me? So now that we've covered what dependencies are, here are 5 tips on how to manage them. Tip number 1, identify dependencies and constraints. The first thing to do is to understand task dependencies and constraints that can have an impact on your project. It's best to note every project constraint and dependency you identify. Tip number 2, add the dependencies to your project charter. If the list of dependencies is short, that's all well and good. However, if it's too long, only add the essential dependencies to your project plan. Now, unfortunately, creating a good project charter can be a time-consuming process, but we have a solution for that. ClickUp's Gantt chart is designed to quickly set dependencies by allowing you to draw lines between tasks, which automatically sets dependencies. Tip number 3, calculate the critical path. Finding the critical path helps you prioritize your tasks and dependencies to ensure your entire project doesn't fail. With our Gantt view, you can quickly calculate the critical path with just a few clicks. Tip number 4, share with stakeholders. You must always keep your stakeholders in the loop. When they're aware of the project dependencies and constraints, they have a better understanding of your functioning. The project charter can communicate these details to your shareholders. Tip number 5, track dependencies. As a good project manager, you must constantly track and visualize your dependencies to deliver a successful completion. Use a project management tool to track project dependencies easily and accurately. Like ClickUp. Every project has its own dependencies. And now with these tips, you can manage them the right way for successful project management. Good? Good? Sweet.